The advice I would give to incoming college students.
The greatest and best advice I can give to incoming freshmen.
You know, no matter where you are in the college experience, you could always learn something new to enhance it, whether you are soon-to-be freshman, or even almost outgoing senior. This is Spot On, a health and wellness podcast for college students, soon-to-be college students, or anyone that knows a college student. Spot On breaks through the latest health and wellness information hijacked from media headlines to provide you with accurate and usable information that is, well, spot on to meet your needs. I am your host, Dr. Joan Salge Blake. I am a nutrition professor at Boston University and the author of the college textbook called Nutrition in You, which is used in colleges across the United States and abroad. All right, so you often hear, the Monday morning quarterback, or you're saying, oh, if I only knew what I know now. And so we thought that with this segment, we would do that. We would be the Monday morning quarterback. We would give you that, if I only knew now, and give them what you would know. So today's Spot On episode is the top 5 tips to nail the college experience. And I have some wonderful guests that are going to share their wisdom. But first, let's go to the streets and see what college students have to say.
Don't miss your class because most of the times professors might change the syllabus, so test dates might change.
Be open to new opportunities.
Make sure you call your parents pretty often. Your parents really miss you. They've done a lot to put you here, and they would appreciate a phone call or two from you every couple of weeks at least.
You're going to meet a lot of new people when you go to college, so be open to everyone that you meet and be open to meeting as many different types of people as possible.
I would say don't drink too much. It's bad for your health, and then when you drink, you just lost the next day because you spend your time getting drunk and wasted. And as a college student, you should manage your time wisely.
I think college is not always what you expect it to be, and you can't really come in with the idea that it's going to be perfect or it's going to be the way that it is in movies.
My advice would be to check the event calendar on your college campus because there's always interesting guest speakers, and it's a good way to branch out and explore things that you're interested in.
Small stuff you pay for builds up, and by the end of it, you'll just have $2 in your bank account. And then overdraft fees are a thing, and you don't want that. So just manage your money well.
Always say yes and take advantage of your opportunities, and if there's something you don't like, then change it.
I have 2 lovely people with me. I have a lovely woman, Betsey Goldwasser. She was at Boston University, and now she's gainfully employed. Welcome to Spot On, Betsy.
Thank you for having me.
Great. And I also have, ready for this? Blake, no, he's not related to me. Blake Bengier. He is a senior at Boston College in political science. Oh, could I love to talk to you, honey. And so he's going to give us the words of wisdom from a senior. And then Betsy is going to give us the words of wisdom of a person employed. And I just want you, Betsy, to tell us, where did you get employed? What are you doing?
So right now, I am currently the event and media coordinator at Temple Ohabe Shalom on Beacon Street. So I didn't go too far.
Right.
And then I also recently just got a new job that I'm going to be starting at the beginning of May as a photographer for Reviewed.com. And that's what I went to college for, and it just took a few steps to get there, but it's happening.
Right. And your major in college was?
I studied film and television and visual journalism.
And there you go.
Yeah.
There you go, and she's got that. and Blake, so you're at BC, and so this is it? You're graduating?
That's right.
The family's coming in May? Grandmother's coming? Everybody's coming, right?
That's exactly right.
That's exactly. How exciting. So what I asked these 2 lovely people to give their words of wisdom, what is their top 5 tips that they would give to other college students? It's always great to look back and say, gee, I should have done this. And so I said, why look back? Why don't we get some people looking back for us and give us the advice up front? So this is actually good for anybody, those going to go into college to understand it, freshmen or even juniors. You still have time, right? Or even seniors first semester. So this is the interesting thing. So I have two different people from two different backgrounds, from two different universities. I asked them for the top 5 tips, and get ready for this. 3 of them overlapped, which I thought was so interesting. I mean, you're not related, right? Brother, sister. No. All right. So as it just came out, it's just so interesting. So I'm going to do first the ones that overlapped. And Betsy, you said, take care of your mind and body and check in with yourself. What do you mean by that?
For me, at least, that means eating right, exercising. I cannot stress this enough. Getting enough sleep is life-changing. Freshman year, I did not get enough sleep. I was not eating well. I was going out on the weekends, and I was sick basically the entire year. And then I started to slow down and take care of myself. I went to the gym almost every day, and your mood changes, your body feels good. It's so important.
So was that first year that woohoo freshman year because you're like a kid in a candy store and you're like, no adults, I'm doing whatever I want to do?
Yeah, I was like a totally goody two-shoes in high school, and then I got to college and I was like, it's my time to shine.
Right. I know the listeners can't see her, but she is goody two-shoes right now. She's clean as a whistle. She looks, so you're back to goody two-shoes. You're so sweet. Okay, so Blake, you said don't be afraid to take care of yourself and take some personal time. So what did you mean by that?
Yeah, well, I just think that there's so much of college at the beginning. People are so worried about going out and making sure they're engaged in everything they're asked to do. And you're going to be asked to do a million things in college. Everyone's going to ask you to do something, especially freshman year.
But what do you mean by what are they asking you to do?
Oh, I mean, just, whether it's go and get coffee after class or it could be, go out to a million things at night. It doesn't matter. You're asked to do a wide range of things by everyone. And the problem is that so often it's hard to say no to that. And you should say yes to a lot of it. Mm-hmm. You should do whatever you want to do. Right. But some of the time you just don't want to, and you end up filling all your time. And I know far too many people who had breakdowns about school because every second they were doing something with someone and they were terrified that if they said no once, they were going to lose a friend or they weren't going to enjoy the college experience. You are still enjoying the college experience,
right.
Even if you say no sometimes.
Right. And the college experience is 4 years, so you have plenty of time to make friends. It's not like you have to do this all the first semester.
Exactly.
And it's interesting because probably the friends you make in the freshman year are probably not the friends that are going to be lifetime. Well, not necessarily, but you're going to meet friends every year.
Exactly.
Especially when you get into your major and everything, and those are probably going to be more likely to be the lifelong friends that you have. Okay, so Betsy, you said something. Partaking clubs, you'll find joy in those, joining clubs. So tell me what that is.
Yeah, so I, in high school, did a lot of clubs, tried to do everything, and when I got to freshman year at Splash or the activities fair, you sign up for a bunch of stuff, and then in reality you end up picking 2 or 3 things, and that really becomes a lot of your core free time, at least for me, was spent on those things. So I did 2 or 3 activities. I was a part of the Daily Free Press. I did a cappella. And later on, I joined community service fraternity, and just making sure that I was really enjoying my time when I was doing those things, because I know a lot of people ended up in clubs where it was a pain in the butt to go to every week, or it was something that they dreaded going to, and it made a big difference in my college experience, having a safety net of friends and something to look forward to and something to get my energies out in a healthy way.
Right. And, the clubs just sound like that you picked, the Daily Free Press, which is the newspaper here at Boston University, help you with your career. So that was a resume builder.
Right. So I did one that was a resume builder. I did one that was like a passion of singing, and it was kind of like a sorority in itself because it was an all-female a cappella group. And then the fraternity was doing something that gave back. I mean, it just feels nice to do that. It was, yes, it is a good thing to give to the community, but in a way it was also giving to myself.
Blake, you had said the same thing. Enjoy the community. College is one of the few times in life where everyone around you is the same age and building connections. So that's great. And as you said before, unless it gets out of hand. So tell me what you meant by that.
Yeah, well, there's so many opportunities to be able to be around people who are like-minded, who you can have discussions with,
right?
Or even just catch all the events that are happening in college with. I know both our schools play a lot of hockey, and that's a huge environment to be around.
Wait a minute. Can you just disclose this? We don't play a lot of hockey. We don't really like each other, BU and BC. So
we play a lot of hockey against
each other. Okay, that's the way it is. I mean, okay. Then we get over it after the game. But during that game, we're really not crazy about you, okay?
Yeah, opposite sides have to be distant.
There we go. Okay, good.
But it's important to engage in those things. I've known people who've skipped them or said it's just not my thing.
Right.
And as much as you need to take time for yourself, you also need to, just try everything. Try everything once, and see what you can do with this experience. Because I've had friends who put on musicals or been a part of clubs, and joining them for those activities, seeing the main portions of and the fruits of their work has been some of the most rewarding experiences. Because you'll have friends who do different careers, and you'll be able to experience those things, but not in the same way. You won't be able to be a part of it the same way you'll be in college.
And, as I said before to Betsy, this is a resume builder, because if you're working together in a club or something, a team, and that's, you took a leadership role, you increased, sales of tickets or anything, and this is all resume building, and so you're having fun, and you're bonding with somebody, so that's really, really great. And, it's okay to say no if somebody wants you to do that. Okay, Betsy, you had said, I love this one. Don't feel a need to go out every weekend. Okay, now you're doing that, because obviously your freshman year you were like out there.
Yeah.
But tell us about that. That's very interesting.
So freshman year I would go out almost every weekend and sleep in late and feel like crap. And then as I started to slow down, just like taking those weekends, that's such coveted free time to do whatever you want. And if you're in Boston, or most colleges have really rich college towns or things you can be doing that's enriching you on the weekends, that is something fun. And not going out allows you to do those other things that make you happier, and you can remember those experiences and share them with friends in a much more positive way than going to the club or the bar.
Right.
I'm also just kind of an introvert homebody, so I love being able to just like stay in and watch a movie and go to bed early.
Good for you. We just did a whole thing last episode on Netflix, so listen in and you may identify with yourself. But that's so true, because when you think about it, a lot of students go away to college, so they're not in the same state as they grew up with, and they may never come back to the state. So you might as well check out what's going on in the city or the town or whatever. And you're right. Every college has a college town. I mean, there's something in there, it could be quaint or it could be huge, like New York City. But check it out, because not only you may never get back, but you're not going to ever get back as a student. And that's the key. I mean, it's one thing to see New York City as a working person, but it's another way to see it in the eyes of a student. So, to take advantage of that. So I absolutely, absolutely love that. That's terrific. Okay, Blake, now you're getting down to the nitty-gritty here, and I love this, what you said. The people around you are just as nervous about the process as you are. So explain that.
Yeah, I think this is especially good for freshmen, but it's really true for everyone. Meeting new people and experiencing a new place is challenging for absolutely everyone. And I mean, I've always considered myself a pretty outgoing person, but I was stuck with 2 random people as roommates freshman year. It was a small room, and my roommate didn't believe that everyone was having the same experience as him. He thought it was he thought everyone was having a good time, making a lot of friends, and he looked around, and he obviously in the age of social media, he looks on social media, and his friends at other schools that he chose to not go to, they're having a great time. Why aren't I? But the reality is that everyone looks like they're having a good time on the outside freshman year, and a lot of the time, hopefully you are. But there's a lot of those times where you come back to the room at the end of the night and you realize, man, I don't know what I'm doing yet. And there are going to be a lot of times, I mean, probably in life, but certainly in college, where you just don't know what you're doing. But a lot of people don't. And you have to understand that everyone has to make that transition. Everyone has to get through that process in order to make the friends and the experiences that they do talk about life for a long time. And I mean, he found that in the end. But no one can get over, no one can completely avoid the fear and that feeling during the early stages.
Yeah, that's so important because it's no matter when you're through life, I'm the only one that's experiencing this. How many times do you feel like that? And this Instagram, what are you going to put up a picture of yourself? Bad. So you only see good pictures on Instagram. So right away you gotta realize that I call Instagram fiction. That's what Instagram is, fiction. So that's so good. And that person that, how did he get over it? Like, how did he do to feel like a little bit better about himself?
I mean, I think it just takes time. Some of my experience at least, there are those first 3 months, that there's that, you get a few weeks into first semester freshman year and, it's a whirlwind, so you can't really think about it. And then when you start to think about it, you start getting in that phase where you're overthinking it. And it just takes friendship and keep putting yourself out there and keep talking to people. And you realize that the friendship and all those people, they just solidify around you kind of naturally.
Right.
As long as you let it happen.
Right. Right. And you go and find your peeps. You go, whatever your, a cappella, you said, Betsy, you do that. You find your peeps, and then you hang around, and you have like-minded. It's super. That's super. So I'm glad that we got that out there, because I think a lot of students feel many times alone in a big campus.
Are you having trouble sleeping, focusing, or relaxing? If the answer is yes, then the TM Softs White Noise Sleep Sounds podcast has got you covered. This hour-long podcast is made to help you get rid of distractions, reduce stress, relax, and most importantly, get better sleep. You can listen to sounds of nature, white noise, relaxing music, and much, much more. You can check out the TM Softs White Noise Sleep Sounds podcast on Spotify or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, let me tell you, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. Trust me, if I can do it on Anchor, anybody can do it on Anchor. Besides being easy, it's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit the podcast right from either your phone or your computer. And best of all, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. And you can hear it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and many, many other platforms. So it is really like one-stop shopping, everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So really, if you're into this and you want to do this, Anchor is the place to go. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, so Betsy, love this one, love them all. Take classes that are outside your comfort zone. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so my major was film and television and journalism, which are two very fun majors. But graduating, I realized that I might not want to do either of those things at the point of graduation. And looking back, I wish I had taken some classes in advertising or PR or even outside of my school, in the business school, just to see if that's something I would even want to pursue someday. And I still really have no idea what I want to do in life. That's a fun just tidbit. And there are some classes that I took, like your class in nutrition, where I go back and think that really sparked my interest. Like maybe that's something I would want to pursue later in life. Or classes that give you life skills like nutrition. Or I took like a cultural anthropology class, and there are just some really interesting theories that come from that I wouldn't have been exposed to either way. And it really expands your mind and your knowledge base, and you learn more about yourself and what you like and what you don't like, and can even put you in a direction for a career if you like a class outside your realm.
Absolutely. To me, college is like a smorgasbord. You know, so you're going to go up there and have Caesar salad and chicken every time you see a smorgasbord. I mean, like let's try something else. Why the quinoa? Why don't we try the quinoa? You know what I mean? And so I think that's really, really important. I'm glad that you said that, and thank you for the talking about nutrition. You know, great course. Everybody should take it, please. Yeah. So that's really great. But I think that's so important. You know, Blake, did you take a course that was outside your comfort zone?
Oh, absolutely.
Or what was it?
Listening to that, I mean, I picked up a minor outside of what I ever thought I would do. I'm a classical studies minor, and you know, it sparked an interest in me. I took a class and got one of my favorite teachers at my school, and it really sparked a love in history and learning fascinating new information and digging deep into a set of information we know very little about compared to a lot of things. So, and
you're a political science major.
Political science major. Yeah.
Those two are going to go together.
They will help, and in the end, I found after the fact stuff about how this would help with law school or whatever.
Yeah, right.
There are plenty of arguments, but that was never an intention, and I don't think it should be. I think I always encourage people. You have a free slot. You don't need to fill it with something in your major or something that you think employers would like. I mean, if there is something that you would love to do, great, do it. But if there isn't, and there's something else that's completely outside of what you ever imagined taking,
right,
and you want to take it, go for it. Because, I mean, it is so much fun to be able to learn something totally new. You meet an entirely new set of people learning it, and you open yourself up to a whole new world.
Yeah, that's great. That's super. Last one is be vulnerable. Be honest about yourself. And be honest about your weaknesses, and it's a way to build lasting relationships. So, Blake, that was yours. So tell me a little bit what that meant to you.
Yeah, I just coming into college, I met a lot of people who felt like the way to make relationships or to talk to people was often sort of framed as this game, something where when you meet with people, it's you have to take away all the stuff that you think you worry about, all the stuff you're anxious about, all your bad qualities, and you're just trying to give them little bits of information, and that's how magically you're going to make friends or relationships or anything like that. And I think that ends up being such a flawed set of thought for a lot of people. I think people are afraid to expose who they are in a lot of ways, and it's understandable because some people don't like who anyone is, but the most successful people consistently at making friends that I've ever met have been the ones who are willing to put themselves out there, because the people who like them, they know right off the bat who they are, and they're going to go for it, and you're going to make lasting friendships there. And if you don't, then you just stopped months of agony down the road, but you've created something where people are personally connected to you, and then they're willing to share, and this is how you build lifelong friendships.
Right. That makes all the sense in the world. What the heck are you putting out there, something that you're not? You're supposed to have a friendship that you're going to be drawn to, because what's going to happen is you have to keep up this charade. You're not having it. What kind of a friendship is that, And so I imagine, Betsy, you're go to sleep early, so you're not, palling around with people who get up at 2 p.m. and go to bed, 2 in the morning. So it's the same thing. So you're hanging with the same people that you want to be hanging with. And Betsy, what do you think about that? Being honest about when you're making friends.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had points in college where I was friends with people who were not the best for me, or would say stuff kind of as a joke that would be shooting me down, and it's really important to find people who are like-minded and have positive energies and build you up and want to do things that are more, I mean, at least for me, I really enjoy, my friends are pretty creative. We go to dance classes or painting places, and it took a while to find those friends, and the conversations we have are intelligent. It's never about gossiping. It's always just, I leave those experiences feeling really good. And it took a while to find those people. And there were people that I knew in my gut that when I was having conversations, or they were gossiping or whatever it may be, I knew in my gut that they weren't going to be the right friends for me. And
Can I ask you, are you still friends with your college friends now that you're out and working?
Yeah. I mean, it took a while, but the last senior year college friends I'm still friends with. My roommate from senior year, and a girl I studied abroad with. I see them basically every week.
Wow, if you're still friends with your roommates, that's really I would think that's miraculous, don't you, Blake? What do you think? Yeah.
Well, I've lived with about 1 million people, so
Yeah. Well,
BC
that
system's
doesn't
messed
say
up
much
there.
about you, honey. If 1 million people flew in and out because nobody could live with you, okay? It's not something to brag about. All right. So basically, what I want to end with one thing from both of you: what would you have done differently? So Blake, tell me that.
Yeah. I don't have to think about that for a second, but I think if anything, I would have even gone for more experiences freshman year. I started out, I finished my major in essentially my first 2 years because I was so focused in on my original ideas. And, although I'm following, thankfully, I stuck with the same major, but although I'm following a similar enough path, things have changed a lot since then, and even goals and, where I want to go. I think they naturally evolve because you get more information about them. And so I wish that I had invested myself a little bit more in the diversity of things that I was able to learn in the second 2 years. If I was able to go out there and, not worry so much, as I talked about earlier, about what would look good on a resume or any of that stuff, and just enjoyed the experience a little more. People say it goes fast, but it really it goes fast. So to savor every second of it.
Yeah, that's terrific, because I think, unfortunately, a lot of high school students are being told, where are you going? What are you going to focus? And getting all those AP courses and everything. And it's like, hello, I can't even vote yet, and you want me to, pick a major? I think it's really silly. That's good wisdom. And Betsy, what about you? What would you have done differently?
I know this might sound cheesy, but I'm not sure if I would have done anything differently. Like, every person I met, every class I took taught me something about myself. Every mistake I made, every night I went out or didn't go out, has led me to this point. And I'm pretty happy where I am right now and with my college experience. So I don't know if there's anything I would really change.
Well, I'm going to have you back 10 years from now. I'm going to answer the same question, and I'm going to see what your answer is that comes in. So I just want to thank you. I think this was so important to get this out for our listeners as they go through college, because it is only 4 years, maybe 5 for some people. But, you want to make the most of it, and so, you would have done things differently or whatever, and these are all words of wisdom. So why not take some of this advice from two, sound people, one that is gainfully employed and one that is about to be very, very soon. So, take this advice, and I want to thank you both, Blake and Betsy, for coming on Spot On. Thank you for listening to Spot On. I am your host, Dr. Joan Salge Blake. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Joan Salge Blake. Please subscribe to Spot On through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you find your podcasts. Also, visit our Facebook page to join the conversation and tell us what you'd like to hear in future episodes. And oh, by the way, could you ask 5 of your friends or family members to download Spot On and subscribe to it? Do I ask a lot from you?